My name is Samuel McPherson, and I'm the farmer here at Potlicker Farm on Blythe Island. We are a 7-acre property that we farm about 2 acres right now. We're certified naturally grown, and we grow staples of the low country like red peas and okra. We're also trying to grow new things like horseradish and turmeric. We hope to bring our wares and all of our produce to different restaurants and markets in the low country areas so that we can provide clean and sustainable options for people that are eating.
So why buy local? Why make the effort to get up on a Saturday morning and go find producers in your area? It circulates a higher percentage of your money back through your community. It supports local jobs, local growers and farmers. It increases the accountability in the food supply chain. When you know who's producing your food and you can walk onto their farm, then you know exactly how it was raised or how it was made. Buying local makes you local.
Welcome to Katy on the Farm. Today, we're on Blythe Island in Georgia at Potlicker Farms, where we're going to talk to the operator, Samuel McPherson, about the vegetables that he's growing for Georgia Sea Grill. All right, so I've never grown this. What are these?
These are bitter melons.
Bitter
Yep.
melons?
Yes.
Is that self-explanatory? Is it bitter?
Yes, they are very bitter.
Okay, what?
They come from northern Japan, and I saw them in the Baker Creek Heirloom
Yay!
Seed catalog, which is like a Bible for all of us.
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic thing that you can have all these dreams and aspirations in the dead of winter, and you're looking, and you see something like a bitter melon, and you go, I can grow that.
Right. And the photography is so beautiful in that catalog.
Oh, man. And they're always this big, you know? And everyone shows up with hundreds of dollars to pay you for them.
Yes, that's how it works. So you've got, tell me the difference between this white and this orange here.
They're the same type. The only thing is this orange one is going out to pasture, as we say. And I want it to rot, and then I want it to open up, indicating that its seeds are fully ready to be dropped. So it's kind of its own fermentation that's happening right there.
Oh.
And then it will drop its viable seeds that are ready to be planted, and I will gather those up very quickly.
And not have to buy them next
Not
year.
have to like go through them and then ferment them and then take them and dry them. Because that's what a lot of people miss, is the fermentation side of seeds. Things like okra, they don't have to be, but tomatoes really should be.
Tomatoes need to be fermented.
Yes,
yeah.
most definitely.
Absolutely. They're a little trickier to collect because of that, but really fun. Good science experiment.
Yes, most definitely.
All
But
right.
these are supposed to be good, especially for detoxification. So we're going to put them into like a nice soup at the restaurant and,
Cool.
you know,
Very
encourage people
neat.
to be healthier.
Yeah. Oh, I look forward to trying something new. And speaking of something new, so we're here towards the end of the pepper season, and I see what kind of look like the largest habaneros or Scotch bonnets I've ever seen. What are these peppers?
These, and if you are so brave enough as to eat one with me, these are habanadas. So,
Habanada.
so they have zero heat, and they're just all citrus, really vitamin C heavy. Like it's almost like a pepper crossed with as close to a pepper fruit as you can get.
It's
with
so
the sweetness.
sweet.
Yes.
The name's a little misleading.
Yep.
Wow.
It was developed by specialty plant breeders, and we are very thankful to be able to have this, especially in like a very prolific state, because it's produced a lot for us this year. And tiny little bush plants, and it just produces. They're everywhere, all over it, all year.
Yeah, the plants are still heavy with them, even when the other peppers are starting to expire.
Yep. And you don't have to eat an orange for maybe a day or two.
It's that much.
That much vitamin C.
That intense. Wow, that's really neat. Well, thank you for introducing me to a habanada. And oh, the lizards. We've got lizards everywhere.
Yep.
So okay, that means that you're doing something right. That's how I interpret that. Tell us about some of your growing methods while we're standing here and I'm eating.
Yes, well, the reason why you see the lizards is because I was saying before that we don't spray any chemicals. We don't use any persistent pesticides. We don't use any herbicides, no chemical fertilizers. I've been growing like that since I've been any type of gardener or farmer whatsoever. That's exactly how my grandparents showed me how to do it, and great-grandparents as well. They had organic back before it was organic, as everyone says, you know. We decided not to go the certified organic route, but rather go the certified naturally grown route, which certified naturally grown, or CNG as it's short for, is a peer-to-peer certification process that has the same tenets and the same requirements as certified organic, but it's at a lower cost and it's farmer to farmer. You are required as a CNG farmer to do inspections on another CNG farm once a year.
Okay.
And you also are encouraged to go and shadow people and help people during their inspections or to get ready for them. It's just a good up and coming certification process that I think is going to just take over with organics, because organics really is tailored for larger operations. It's really hard for a smaller operation like Cane Water to get an organic certification. I know that must have been very costly for them and a lot of hard work.
So certified naturally grown is more relational. Farmers helping each other out there, and then we know this network of farmers as eaters.
Yes, exactly.
That's excellent. Well, thank you for sharing. Hi, I'm Katy Rogers. I hope you'll be right back after this message to join me. So Samuel, this sweet girl is one of your buff Orpingtons, yes? Why did you choose this breed?
They are very docile. They're super sweet. They're not very noisy at all, and they produce just, really nice big eggs. These are young girls. They're only about 6 months old, so they're not producing just yet, but they are providing a function for me, which is, of course, aerating the soil and taking the weeds out and reintegrating that good manure like we were talking about before.
Right. Yeah, so that's what we were talking about, is you can find inexpensive ways to rig up a chicken tractor. It's called a chicken tractor. Yes, do you know that's what it's called? Oh, I adore her. So I, like so many people, I love chickens and they have personalities. And at one point I had to move 14 hours away, and I put my chickens in my car relatively new SUV, and it's 98 degrees down here, and the air conditioner goes out hours into the trip. And the only way to keep the chickens from smothering and suffocating in their little crates was to turn a dozen chickens loose in my car and ride for the next 10 to 12 hours with the windows cracked.
That's chaos.
With my children and loose chickens. I know, it's not advisable. So they made a mess. They made quite the mess. But my favorite part of my whole chicken experience might be that my children sat in the back seat with a console down with cup holders and no drinks. And at one point my son, and I had no nerve left. I was so frazzled. My son says, "Mom!" And I almost swerve off the road. I think, what now? And he says, "She laid me an egg." And his hen that had been sitting next to him the entire trip had been sitting on the cup holder and left him an egg. And then she just got up and got over on his lap and sat on a pillow the rest of the drive. So she laid him an egg in the cup holder. And it was absolutely wonderful. So we really appreciate the personalities of our birds, and we call them our little dinosaurs.
Yes.
And you'll be laying soon. Samuel, thank you for letting me visit with your chickens.
You're very welcome.
Hi, I'm Katy Rogers. I hope you'll be right back after this message to join me.
Backroad Sports Television Network, the location to find rural high school sports. Go to our website today at backroadsports.tv.
So, Samuel, you've been here at Potlicker Farms for a year.
Yes.
What was life like before that? What brought you here? Why this interest?
It's a long old bumpy road, as they say, and I actually got started in this because we had our first child, Ella, and we wanted to give her clean, organic food, local food. We were so jazzed up about it. You know, we're going to be the best parents in the world. So my wife actually started an organic cooperative with some of her friends, and we were bringing all organic produce. We were growing some of it and going out to farms and procuring it, and really just for 4 or 5 years going, taking organic produce, delivering it, procuring it, sorting it, you know, everything that a cooperative entails. That eventually went the way of the dinosaur. As everything does, it changes. I then went to pursue my dream of becoming a chef. I've been cooking in restaurants for a long time, pretty much since I was 16, 17.
Oh, wow.
I had a stint in the military for 8 years in which I stopped, and I wanted to get back into it. I really wanted to do good things for the area, to bring good food, you know? And I went here locally to College of Coastal Georgia, got my associates in culinary, and I love it. It's something that drives me every day. I still cook 2 to 3 meals a day, even with the farm. But that's good. Now I can use farm ingredients. So I was actually cooking at Georgia Sea Grill, which is the, let's say, the parent restaurant to our farm. They get all of our wares right now. All of our produce goes right to Georgia Sea Grill, which they do a fantastic job with it. They have a great team there, and I apprenticed there under Chef Lynch, who did his apprenticeship at Sea Island and is a very, very well-trained chef. I actually don't consider myself a chef in the way that he is. I still consider myself like a cook.
Right.
But I was there working at the restaurant, doing my apprenticeship, and seeing all the good food coming in. And Mr. Gowan, Zach Gowan, who owns the restaurant and also owns Pot Liquor Farm, approached me one day and asked if I wanted to go see a property, Pot Liquor Farm, this farm here. And it wasn't a farm then, it was an old goat farm left over. And so I decided, that I would go and go into this venture with him. I kind of go, head first into it.
Right.
And it's turned out to be one of the best things that I could ever do with my life. It's rewarding in a way that I never thought it would be. I have a family history in farming. My great-grandparents were farmers, and my grandparents on both sides, they always had a large garden in which they sold stuff out of, and which they would can a lot and save a lot, and then out of necessity. And after being here a year, I really am feeling that I'm doing the right thing, even though it's challenging when you wake up in the morning, even though it's really hard and it's really hot and there's tons of bugs. When you get a good watermelon, or you get a nice bowl of red peas that you've grown yourself, it all pays off. So the year of hard work, I'm just looking forward to the next 4 or 5 years and seeing what we can build.
It's very exciting. Well, we're glad you're out here doing this. We're glad that you found that path to get that food for your family that you guys had wanted to do. And thank you for showing us around. Let's continue to nose around this place. I'm going to keep looking at your soil, and thanks for having us out, Samuel.
Thank you for coming.
Hi, I'm Katy Rogers. I hope you'll be right back after this message to join me. Okay, Samuel, so here is some of the native sand I've just bent down and picked up. This is our soil here, and it doesn't have a lot of structure.
Nope.
But I noticed that in some of your beds you're growing things that like this, and in other beds I saw very different soil. So why don't you tell us what you guys do, some of the things you do to amend here?
Well, one of the main things that I do is I add this topsoil with biochar in it. Biochar is kind of a byproduct. It has to be treated right, but it's a byproduct of the wood industry. What they do is they take it up to a certain temperature, all these leftover wood shavings and chips and chunks, and without them actually having oxygen available to them, this increases their fertility. It makes them more porous, so it helps to add structure to the soil. So it's literally, it's jet black, and it has all these chunks of wood in there. And that's exactly what, plants, they love it. You put a little fertilizer to this, whether it's a nice fish emulsion or whatever fertilizer you're using, a calcium base or whatever. This is your medium that's going to help those nutrients get right to your plant.
Right.
It also helps to reinvigorate the soil for new microbial life. That is, you're making the soil more stratified and more porous in areas so that earthworms and other microbial life can get in there and break up and tend to the soil. In fact, they say that earthworms love this, and where there is this, there's usually more minerals in the soil as well.
Right, absolutely. So we see this allow those microbes that facilitate the communication in the rhizosphere, the space around the root system of the plant. And what happens is there's root exudates. The plant releases a signal that says, I need this nutrient, and those microbes provide it. And so it's a really fascinating thing that happens in this space, and what he's doing here is feeding that community and giving it the space to thrive and grow. And this also helps with water capacity, right? Because this sand, everything's just gonna go right through until it hits the dead pan, right?
And then
wash
off.
out.
And you can literally see over there where it shears off down into the lower part of the property.
Runs on the surface and carries with it some of that A horizon,
and if you put this here, if you put this topsoil over there and actually like made a level part of it, it would not run off anymore. It would hit this, soak in, and it would stay, and it would start to create, you know, good soil again.
Right.
Yep.
So water retention capacity is a very big thing.
It's a huge thing.
Absolutely. Especially so feast or famine sometimes in this part of the country, right? We get these huge downpours with our storms and then nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then nothing. So creating resiliency.
So this is gold.
This is gold.
This is gold in a big way.
You heard it here. All right. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Katy Rogers. I hope you'll be right back after this message to join me.
So why buy local? Why make the effort to get up on a Saturday morning and go find producers in your area? It circulates a higher percentage of your money back through your community. It supports local jobs, local growers and farmers. It increases the accountability in the food supply chain. When you know who's producing your food and you can walk onto their farm, then you know exactly how it was raised or how it was made. Buying local makes you local.
All right, so this is becoming one of my favorite parts of any farm, garden, or homestead. We found bees.
Yes.
All right, so tell us about their role.
Their role is essential. You know, without bees, we wouldn't have like 50 to 60% of the vegetable crops. They're essential pollinators. That's their whole life, is getting it done. And if you look close, you can still see they are coming in with like bright orange, bright yellow. I wonder where they're getting pollen from. Maybe the loofahs or some of the other zinnia flowers that we have growing right now. And these are in a partnership with one of my friends who is just a mile down the road on the island. He's been raising bees for a long time and has a lot of knowledge and experience. So I'm very lucky to have someone like that very close that's able to help me out.
Absolutely.
And we just did a pull a couple days ago, and we got 1.5 gallons of the, you know, darkest, most viscous, most floral honey that I've had. So
off just these 2 boxes?
Just the 2 boxes.
1.5 gallons of honey.
1.5 gallons. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, that's exciting.
I would say they're kind of spoiled in a way, you know, because we're right here by a test garden.
Yeah.
We have some fruit trees on the other property, and this ginormous grapefruit tree, which was covered in blooms in the beginning of spring and summer.
Right.
And these bees were all over it. They were swarming it. In fact, there was so many flowers, we had another swarm come just to feed off of this grapefruit tree in the middle of the summer.
Off one grapefruit tree.
Off one grapefruit. And now you see how many are set.
Yeah.
And the peas are growing right up into it as well.
Yeah, the intercropping is great here at the test garden. I love that there's the turmeric and the peas and the flowers and the eggplant. You've got all this stuff growing together, kind of taking care of each other. And we know what happens when we leave a space blank. Something's going to grow in it, so we might as well grow something we want, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Very
yes, most definitely.
All right, well, let's take a look over here and maybe have a look at that hoop house here.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we're here in the hoop house. This is my kind of indoor-outdoor space. But beyond the aesthetic, what's the purpose of having this out here?
The purpose is it's way too hot here in the South for a lot of things. For a couple month period, August and September, we were talking before, I know a lot of farmers and growers that take it off. They just don't even, or they'll say, we're not doing as much because it's too hot. So our solution, along with a lot of other people, is shade cloth.
Yeah.
And not only shade cloth, but a lot of it in a whole hoop house that's nothing but shade cloth. This lets me get a jump on the things that I want to put in here when it's too hot, like these tomatoes here that are going to go all the way through winter, or the cucumbers that are beside you that will go all the way through winter, or even the trial of cantaloupes that I have back here that'll hopefully go all the way through winter. But I would not have been able to start those things with all of the heat and disease and pest pressure outdoors. Because not only this is a shade cloth, this is an enclosed hoop house that doesn't let pests in, hopefully. That's the idea of it. But also provides that middle of the day, as we're starting to get there, protection from the sun.
Yeah. Yeah. The difference between these tomatoes here, kind of at our peak of summer, and the tomatoes that are outside that are spent and heat exhausted already is just stunning. These are beautiful.
Yes. And these are specifically for hoop house growing and indoors growing, as well as like taking over winter. They can take a little bit lower heat than normal. And then the cucumbers beside you are from row 7. And I just love what they're doing.
Yeah.
We had a habanada earlier.
Right.
That was also from them. Their cucumber is prolific, and you can see it's big, and it will produce, pounds and pounds all into the winter, and will survive as well. Right.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And with your culinary experience, Row 7 makes perfect sense, because this is the seed company that Dan Barber and his cohorts started, focused on breeding for taste, right? High bricks and flavor, which I know is surprising to most people, but a lot of the seed that you buy or that is produced commercially hasn't been bred or selected or cultivated based on flavor profile. It's been done for shippability or shelf life, right? Or consistency, right? And what they're working on is including flavor as that critical point. So that's really exciting, and that's available now, and you guys are working with it.
Yes, most definitely it is.
All right, well, thank you for sharing this space with us. I appreciate it. It was great to spend the day out here.
Yes, thank you for coming. I really had a good time.
Hi, I'm Katy Rogers. I hope you'll be right back after this message to join me.
We were talking before about how I got into it and my love for it. And part of my love for it is the fact that I get to be here and live on the farm with my family. This is my wife, April, and this is my daughter, Ella. And do you love it out here?
Yeah.
What's your favorite part?
The chickens, I guess.
The chickens, she guessed. We love the Low Country. We're both from here. We're both from Camden County. We had our daughter here just 20 miles away. And we get to farm in a real picturesque setting. We're right here in the Morrison Slough, or Slaw, or Slow, however you want to say it. Right here between Blythe Island and the Golden Isles out there, Jekyll Island, St. Simon's, Sea Island. We're 15 minutes from most of the restaurants, so we really enjoyed here, and we hope that more people see the beauty in coastal Georgia and want to farm down here and want to be a part of the farming and the food culture.
Thank you for joining me today here on Blythe Island at Potlicker Farms for a conversation with Samuel McPherson about their certified naturally grown and biodiverse farming operation and market garden that's supplying Georgia Sea Grill. I hope that you learned some things and enjoyed the conversation and have something that you can apply to your own garden or homestead or eating habits. And join us again next time here on Katy on the Farm.